Hello everyone, it's Khaled. Welcome to today's daily page 24 of March 2026. Let's dive into the latest economic events, technicals, and see what's moving the markets. Well, we will start with our economic calendar as usual, but as you can see currently, what is moving the markets are not the fundamentals or the economic data, but it is the geopolitical tensions and headlines. In all cases, let's cover what do we have in terms of economic data. Okay, so looking at our economic calendar, we see that we had some economic data, mainly the manufacturing and services PMI for the Eurozone, for France. For the Eurozone, it came in lower than expected, but still it is above the 50 grade point. And as we know, the 50 grade point, it's the level between the contraction and expansion of the economy. Later on, we had as well the manufacturing PMI and services PMI for the UK. The manufacturing better than expected, the services slightly lower than expected, and going on during the day we have the PMI services and manufacturing for the US. Both are expected to stay above the 50 grade point. The services 52, manufacturing 51.5. We will see what are the numbers if we have any surprises. Moving on right now to the charts, let's have a look at the dollar index. We can see that the dollar index is still rejecting the level of the 100.2 approximately and just consolidating. The 10-year treasury yields, they reached the 4.45 approximate and slightly moving lower. And as for the VIX or the fear index, still above the 25, above the 20. So there is still some fear and uncertainty in the markets. Yesterday, we had a very interesting move that took place. I will be starting with oil, then moving on to gold, and then we will have a look at the US equities. I shared this on our Telegram channel. We'll be zooming to the 5-minute time frame. Look at this huge candle. It dropped from the 113 down to the 96, and here we are looking at the 5-minute candle. At the 1-minute candle, a very big and volatile move. Why? The US president announced a headline that they are having a direct talk with Iran. They will postpone the 48 hours where they were threatening to attack the power supplies in Iran, and he said that there are talks going on. We have 5 days to keep ongoing negotiations. So this in general got some optimism in the markets, and the immediate reaction was the following. Let's have a look at the 5-minute time frame. Here it takes us back to our previous webinar that we had, educational webinar that we had last week. So you read this headline, you were thinking, okay, what is the market reaction? You will look at oil, you will see that we have a huge drop. You will look at gold as well. Let's see here at oil, it was at 11.05. Let's have a look at gold as well. At gold here as well, we had a move up from 4,280 up to 4,460. And looking at the US equities, maybe we'll have a look at the Dow Jones. Same thing took place, a strong move up. So looking at different asset classes, you can know, and looking at the correlation, of course, you will know that, okay, this headline is holding some weight. The markets are reacting based on it. But a couple of minutes later, or around 30 minutes later, Iran said that there is no direct negotiation, and this brought additional pressure on the markets. Looking at oil at the 30-minute time frame, we can see that after this bounced down to the 96. And by the way, if we zoom out a little bit, we can see that the price reached exactly here at the gap open. So you can see how the technicals sometimes as well plays a very important role, and the pricing, if we highlight this, you can see that after this headline, price reacted here and then started to move up. I believe personally that the timing of this headline is very important. It was before the market opened on Monday. The US president said that we have a 5 days period in order to have the talks. So all of this, which I believe personally is related to giving some relief to the markets, pumping the markets up, and this was reflected here as we showed on the US 30, Nasdaq, S&P 500, across several asset classes. S&P 500. The dollar index had some move downwards. Of course, this is related to the market expectations that oil prices will decrease, the inflation will decrease, and as well the Feds will start to cut interest rates maybe once or twice during this week. Now back to the charts, and technically speaking, let's have a look on what prices we are looking for. The first area of interest I will be looking for on oil, I will be zooming into the 30-minute time frame and marking here a very important level at the 104. The first area I will be looking for in case we have additional escalations and price was able to break higher, close above this level, retest. I believe our next target, we could reach the 113 once again. Keeping in mind that the oil is having a huge volatility, as we saw and we talked about, one headline is able to make a lot of volatility and move the market direction. So what's moving the markets right now are not the technicals, not the fundamentals or economic data, but the headlines and the geopolitical tensions. So this is scenario number one on oil. My next scenario, what if oil was able to retest this level, a very important level at the 96, retesting the 96, failing to break below these candles, and keeping in mind that we have a market gap here, so breaking below these candles we could be closing this gap. But if I see the price action just consolidating here, I will be looking for the following price action, something like this. The last scenario and the last price I will be looking for is here, the 120. In case we are able to break above the 114 bullish candles, intraday candles closing above this level, I believe we could be retesting again the 120, a very important level here at the 120, keeping in mind that I believe in order to break above the 120 we need a new fundamental catalyst or a new escalation, so we will be able to break above these levels. So a couple of areas of interest, 105, 115, 120, and of course a retest of the 96 will be a very important level as well. Moving on to gold. Gold, this was our last analysis last week. We said that we have these areas of interest. We didn't retest the higher. We broke below this area. We broke below the second area, and currently we are seeing a strong movement down on gold. Why the strong movement? Although we have geopolitical tensions, we mentioned it earlier, the markets are expecting to see high oil prices, which is equal to high inflation, and based on high inflation, the Feds will keep interest rates higher for longer, giving a push for the dollar and a move down on gold. I will be deleting these, and let's draw. This was our consolidation area, the one in green that we said that we will not be trading whenever it's priced in this range. Zooming out to the 4-hour time frame to draw some important levels. I will keep these two areas of interest very important as well, and here we have, it should be here. So guys, looking on gold price action, the first area of interest I will be looking, keeping in mind that between these two levels we have hundreds and thousands of pips, so of course you can take advantage of such price movement. Zooming in a little bit, I have this level and this level as well. In case I see oil prices breaking above the 4,500, in this level, for me, it will be a no trade range. Honestly, I would like to see price breaking above this level, retesting, and my next area of interest will be around the 4,700. Looking at the 4,700, I will monitor the price action. In case I see something similar to here, candles failing to break higher, I believe the bearish momentum could take place and we could be moving lower again. The second scenario, in case we broke higher, my next area I will be looking at is the 4,850. So if this bullish momentum was able to continue and close higher, my next area of interest will be here at the 4,850. I will monitor if we see maybe a double top or any formation indicating reversal. We could see the following price action. And finally, the last area of interest. Now, what if price just continued lower? And if I see a candles breaking below the 4,310 to 300, making a retest, I believe we could at least test once again the 4,100. So we have very nice ranges on gold to play, but you have to be very careful. It's being very volatile. That's why mark certain areas of interest before jumping into any trade. For me, this zone here between the 4,305 up to the 4,480 to the 4,500, it's a no trade range. I would like to see, as I mentioned, either candles breaking higher, retesting this zone, which will be a sell zone for me in case I see rejection, or this zone, which will be another sell area for me in case I see rejection, or finally breaking below the 4,300. My next target will be the 4,100. We will put the last scenario, which could take place with all the volume and volatility we are seeing. In case we saw candles breaking below the 4,100, I believe we could be testing the 4,000 or even a little bit deeper to the 3,950. Gold is currently highly affected by the geopolitical tensions. The economic data, yes, I know we have here some economic data, but all the economic data we are seeing is just holding not too much weight. What's more moving the markets are the fundamentals and the geopolitical tensions. Haruturan, hopefully everyone is having a nice trading day. We're having very nice volume and volatility, but at the same time it's very risky. So mark these levels in case you are trading gold. Plan your trades, trade your plan, and don't get lost in the volatility. Yesterday I was looking at the markets and we had this bearish move. We were having this strong bearish move. Each candle was moving up and down by $30 and $40. In this case, your stop loss will get hit even though you are taking the correct market direction. That's why I'm repeating it more than once. Mark several areas of interest, put alerts, and don't keep your eyes on the chart because you will get tempted to trade the noise and get random trades. Okay guys, finally let's have a look at the US equities. Before that, if you like our content, don't forget to leave us a like, follow, and subscribe. If you want us to analyze any currency pair, you can type for us in the comment section and we will go over it together. Let's have a look at the US 30 and see what is happening. It's getting a little bit choppy on the US equities, of course, due to the contradiction in the headlines we are seeing, but we will mark a couple of areas of interest as well, similar to gold, and see what is going on. As you can see, this area of interest at the 45,750, we are having some market reaction, although price broke lower, but then it snapped up. So I will be marking as well this zone here. And let's zoom in a little bit. Due to the high volume and high volatility, we can mark this area. As well. For me on the US 30, I will be looking for the following. In case I see price retesting, especially during NYSE, retesting the 46,250 to 200 and just rejecting here, failing to break, I believe we could see the following price action with the retest of the 47,250. But if we are able to break lower, I will mark here these candle lows. If we are able to break lower with the volume and the bearish momentum continuing, my next target will be here at the 45,550, and reaching this level you should be very careful. You can see that price went lower, reacted, and then snapped back up. Looking further, we can see that price retested this area several times, here slightly higher. So it's a very important area to monitor the price action. Watch out for the price action on here, and we could be doing something like this. Of course, this is what all the trade ideas I'm giving to you are during normal market situation. In case we see any reactive headline, I will be updating you on the Telegram channel as I did yesterday. We will see if this headline will bring a bullish or bearish momentum, but in general, looking at the areas of interest and the technicals, these are the couple of areas I will be looking for on gold, oil, and US 30 as well. Okay guys, so that's it for our session. If you have any question, I will give you like 1 minute. Other than that, thank you for joining. Watch out for your trading. Yes, we do have a nice volume and volatility, but it is risky at the same time. Let's have a quick look on Bitcoin and see what is happening with the cryptos. This was one of our analysis even before the war, I believe. Yeah, we were expecting price to keep rejecting this level and retest the 50,000, but Bitcoin is still holding this level, the 62 to 60 approximate. We will see what could happen with Bitcoin. I believe if we have an intraday candle closing bullish above the 75,500, my next area of interest will be the 85 as well. Okay guys, so I see no questions. Thank you for joining, and we will see you soon with another live analysis session. Take care.